Imagine waking up sealed inside a coffin, hearing nothing but your own breathing and the weight of the earth above you. While it sounds like a horror movie, it actually happened many times in real life. Today, we're diving into documented, verified, historical cases of premature burial, cases so shocking that they changed medicine, law, and even funeral practices forever. Angelo Hays, the man who came back from the dead, France, 1937. On a summer afternoon in 1937, 19-year-old Angelo Hays crashed his motorcycle headfirst into a brick wall. He was declared dead on the scene. No pulse, no breath, no reaction. His grieving family buried him, but fate had other plans. Because his parents had recently taken out a large life insurance policy, investigators demanded the body be exhumed 2 days later. When the coffin was opened, doctors were stunned. Angelo's body was still warm. His organs were functioning. He was alive, trapped in a coma so deep that doctors had mistaken him for dead. He recovered fully and spent the rest of his life inventing safety coffins. One even had a toilet, radio, and survival kit. Essie Dunbar. Essie Dunbar had an epileptic seizure in 1915. Doctors pronounced her dead and buried her the same day. Her sister arrived late and begged the ministers to reopen the grave. Reluctantly, they exhumed the coffin. When the lid opened, Essie sat straight up. The ministers ran. The townspeople screamed. But Essie, perfectly alive, climbed out of the coffin on her own. She lived for another 47 years, becoming a local legend. Medical journals from the 1890s record a chilling case of a young woman believed to have died of cholera. Her body was taken to the hospital morgue and placed on a slab. Hours later, an attendant noticed a slight trembling in her fingertips. She was breathing, barely. Doctors revived her, but the lack of oxygen caused permanent brain damage. She never fully recovered, but her case became a major push for mandatory waiting periods before burial. Dr. Adolf Gutsmuth, the man who buried himself alive, Germany, 1700s. Not all premature burials were accidents, some were experiments. In the 1700s, reports of people being buried alive were so common that inventors began designing safety coffins. Dr. Gutsmuth volunteered to demonstrate one. He allowed himself to be buried underground for hours. Through a ventilation tube, assistants fed him soup, beer, and sausages. Crowds watched. He survived, and the demonstration became a sensation. His stunt proved how easy it was to mistake unconsciousness for death, and how essential it was to install emergency escape mechanisms. Church records from a Spanish monastery describe a monk who collapsed mid-prayer. He was believed dead, washed, dressed, and placed in a coffin. During the funeral procession, faint knocking was heard.
I heard everything. The prayers, the crying, even the hammering of nails on my coffin. I was conscious but fully paralyzed.
Pierre Garnier, the man who broke his coffin. From the Inside, France, 1889. During a cholera outbreak, burials were rushed. Pierre Garnier was declared dead and entombed the same day. When gravediggers returned days later, they found the stone covering his tomb slightly shifted. Inside, his coffin lid was cracked from the inside. His fingers were torn and bloody from clawing at the wood. Pierre was dead, but not from cholera. He had woken after burial and died fighting for air. His case helped push for laws requiring 48-hour delays before burial. England, 1571, in Braffing, Hertfordshire. A man named Matthew Wall was believed to be dead. After collapsing, he was declared deceased, washed, laid out, sealed in a coffin for burial. The funeral procession set out along a rutted lane toward the churchyard. On the slope, the bearers stumbled. The coffin lurched and hit the earth. A faint vibration on the lid, then knocking from inside the coffin. Villagers prying the lid open. They found Matthew alive, dazed, gasping into daylight. The likely cause, a deep coma, perhaps tied to a seizure disorder. Revived and cared for, he recovered by the hearth. He returned to the living. He lived on. He married. He left funds for Old Man's Day. They still observe Old Man's Day in October, ringing bells, and a graveside service for Matthew Wall. Wall also asked that on Old Man's Day Fleece Lane, the spot where the pallbearer had slipped, be cleared of leaves. The request was peculiar, given that those very leaves had spared him from being buried alive. And a ritual knock on the church door, so no one forgets the day a coffin knocked back. Mrs. Alice Blunden, Basingstoke, England, 1674. A sweltering day. She drinks poppy water, an opium-based sedative. Sleep deepens. Breath shallow. No response. No visible pulse. Physicians declare death. In the heat, burial comes quickly. The coffin descends. Earth seals the grave. Dusk. Children at play freeze. Faint crying. Low moans. From beneath the soil. Night. Alarm. Villagers gather. Spades striking earth. The grave is opened. Reports describe a torn shroud, scratches on wood, fingers marked by struggle. Some accounts say she still breathed, briefly, before falling still again. Parish records and witness notes speak of in gore blood. Scratches. A lid scarred from within. The tale spread through Basingstoke, retold for generations. Today, historians add caution. The second resurrection may be embellished, perhaps apocryphal. But at sunset in the churchyard, the lesson endures. Allow time and certainty before the earth closes. The 1850s. Edisto Island, EDH Stowe, South Carolina. A young vacationer was believed to have died of diphtheria. To prevent contagion, physicians pronounced death quickly, washed, shrouded, placed in a local family's mausoleum along the coast. Years pass. The Civil War claims a son. When the crypt is opened for his interment, they find a small skeleton just behind the door. It was clear she had awakened after burial and tried to escape. Stories like this reshaped burial customs, waiting periods, checks for breath, the fear that the living might be mistaken for the dead. These real stories remind us of how fragile and mysterious the boundary between life and death can be. If you want more strange history, hauntings, and unexplained stories, hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.